I didn't even get to the part where
Is that
I tell
not a
you
public area?
that she's had me arrested.
What?
Yeah, for picking up her campaign literature off my windshield of my car.
You got cuffed?
Yes. 8 months of them continuing, you know, the court hearing for the case to be dropped by the state's attorney's office for lack of evidence.
Was where we were public area?
Yes.
Inside and outside.
100%.
We were escorted out, made it seem like we were doing something illegal, taking our IDs, pressed. They wouldn't tell him that if we didn't give them our ID, they were gonna do something. He had threats to us. You've done the FOIA request. You have all the documents. What kind of stuff have you seen in those documents that catches your attention?
Things that stand out, obviously, are the travel. I mean, it's huge. About 2 trips a month, 3 to 6 days for every trip. I would say 95% of them are unrelated to the township. You know, she went to Portland, Oregon for some conference called the Her Voice, like a women empower leading other women to God. Anybody who knows when you're using taxpayer funds, when you start putting religion into it, it's a touchy situation because you govern in the township 190,000 voters. Not all of them believe the same thing you do.
How is she living when she goes on these trips?
It's outside of her own pay scale. That's how she's living. She's not living a $300,000 a year life like she's making. She's living a $1 million life because she's keeping her money and spending ours. You get a $600 per day per diem. You don't turn in receipts for those.
Which is a very generous per diem.
You shouldn't be swiping the credit card for anything, ma'am. Why do I see all of your meals on here? Why do I see your hotels on here?
What kind of hotels is she staying at? Is it fancy?
Yeah, Hyatt, Hilton's, Four Seasons.
Four Seasons?
Oh yeah, you name it. Just the best of everything for her. Flying first class to Las Vegas. Her and Keith Freeman. I know the news didn't say that. He put out her $3,700 flight for herself.
She bought a $3,700 flight to Las Vegas?
But Keith Freeman's flight was the same amount. Her and Carmen Carlisle had, you know, $1,600 flight to Atlanta.
Where is she eating? What kind of places is she going to when she eats on the road?
Steakhouses, lobster, anything you could think of that would be high-end dining. For the most part, that's where they're eating. Now, that looked a little different in their little bike ride to Springfield for her non-for-profit. On those trips, they stayed at Hampton Inn. They're bike riding, and they have a full-on DJ being pulled on a trailer behind them. I mean, they're blocking off streets for this.
What else is outrageous that you've seen now that you're privy to the books?
The amount of money she's spending on her PR. That's probably running Thornton Township about $25,000 a month.
So taxpayers, they're not only paying for the front end of all the bad stuff she's spending money on, but they're paying for the PR cleanup on the back end as well.
Absolutely.
What would it take to just remove her from office?
She was recalled. The residents voted to remove her from office.
What was the percentage vote to recall her?
It was about 56%. We were at about 1,900 to remove her and about 1,300 said to leave her.
Her salary is $224,000, but if she doesn't get reelected, the person that takes over would get $25,000, and that's a way to deter people from running against her?
The previous supervisor was in his 9th term. Now you can see the $200,000 salary because he worked for it for 32 years.
Yeah.
She keeps his salary because the law for township municipalities says if you take over his term, you complete the term. Whereas in a regular municipality, like if a mayor passed away and the board appointed somebody, the next municipal election, that mayor would have to run. That seat would be up. But in the township, it doesn't work that way. You finish the entire term. My previous boss had passed away 8 months into his term, so she had a full 3 years to finish. So she gets to keep his pay. What would happen though if she ran in 2025 and she won? She would have went to a first term salary. The pay scale was changed dramatically because she made it that she keeps the salary she has now. Anybody else goes down to 25. There's no more salaries by term. She removed that.
Is there anything positive you can say about the mayor?
I will say she has some ideas that I think are great. You know, the ice rink, it's beautiful. Visually, it looks nice. Had that been done right and had there been a plan in place, a plan for revenue, a plan, you know, for long-term maintenance, a plan on how we were gonna bring people out to make sure that the cost was covered at minimum. This could have been good things for the community. Because of the choice to always do things in a me manner, it never feels like it's for the community. All of the qualities that we see now that are like these big beast qualities, those were all there when she was just little Tiffany Henyard that was a trustee here in Dolton. They just magnified with the money and the power.
Is there anything in the books that reflect that police officers are getting kickbacks from the mayor?
Oh, their overtime. It averages about 100 hours a pay period for her security. The one he had 303 hours on one bi-weekly pay period.
Most of that at an overtime rate.
Yep.
A $13,000 check.
Absolutely.
And that's a cop or security guard?
That was her security guard.